Welcome everyone to our inaugural criminal defense hangout here in West Palm Beach, South Florida. I'm here with Andrew Stine, a practicing criminal defense lawyer for the last 10 years. My name is Renee and I'll be your host for today's hangout. How are things going, Andy?
Everything's going good, Renee. Thank you.
I'm glad you're joining us today. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about who you are and what makes you passionate about the law.
Absolutely. My name is Andrew D. Stine. I was born and raised in northeastern Pennsylvania in a small town called Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Was educated there, graduated high school there. Upon graduation of high school, I joined the United States Army, where I spent many years. While practicing in the United States Army or being a soldier, I was involved in an incident where I was falsely accused of a crime. Falsely accused of being in a fight or getting in a fight with a Pennsylvania state trooper. It was a false accusation. I decided to go to trial because obviously I wasn't guilty. I did nothing wrong. It was a life-changing event for me, and that's what brings me here today. What happened was I was wrongly convicted. I was sentenced to 10 years in prison. I had a great defense attorney. He's dead now, but his name was Gerald P. Deedy. He was passionate. He believed in me. He believed in my story. The problem was that the Pennsylvania state troopers in Pennsylvania are part of the government and they're very strong. They stacked the deck against me. They committed perjury. They committed a lot of crimes, including false statements, falsifying records. I was convicted, sentenced to 10 years in prison, immediately appealed it to the Pennsylvania Superior Court. After serving a year and a half in prison, the Pennsylvania Superior Court overturned the conviction, dismissed the case. During that time, the individual who accused me of the crime was arrested for multiple drug offenses, for also beating up and battering a DEA agent. Actually, he put a gun in her mouth. He went to prison. I was released from prison. I then sued the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and did well on that. But that's what sent me in the direction of criminal defense. However, when I got out of prison, I immediately went back into the United States Army because that's all I knew. While in the Army, I graduated from King's College, a school in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, got my degree in political science while being a member of the Army. I also went and took the LSAT and was accepted to Quinnipiac University. During my break between my first and second year of law school, I was in the JAG program. I was going to become an Army lawyer. I wanted to defend soldiers who were, at that time, facing criminal offenses. I was injured between my first and second year of law school in an accident whereby I was the passenger and the driver of my vehicle, fell asleep in a convoy, went down the side of a mountain, broke my back. During my whole second year of law school, I spent much of the time at Walter Reed Medical Center in Washington, D.C. I would transport back and forth on Tuesdays and Thursdays on a train in between D.C. and New Haven, Connecticut, so I could attend law school. After about a year of going back and forth from Washington, D.C. to Connecticut for law school, the Army finally discharged me and I'm a disabled veteran. At that point, it was obvious that I wasn't going to be able to fulfill the JAG conditions because I was discharged out of the Army. So I knew that I wanted to help individuals who were arrested and accused of criminal offenses. Because like myself, many individuals are overcharged with crimes or downright charged falsely. False accusations are made. And I wanted to, in fact, stand in between the government and those individuals, and I want to protect those individuals. So I immediately got an internship with the New Haven Public Defender's Office. It was a great internship. I learned a lot. I graduated law school, took the Florida bar, passed it, and started working at the Palm Beach County Public Defender's Office in August of 2001. During that time, for about the next year and a half, I learned to practice law. I learned how to write motions. I learned how to make arguments. I learned how to formulate appeals. I learned how to argue for my clients, the downtrodden, those who are indigent, those who have nothing. I learned how to be passionate for those individuals all the way from the county court to the circuit court to the appellate courts. I've been doing it ever since. Finally went out on my own in 2003. Have my own practice since, where I'm passionate about representing individuals who are facing criminal charges, anything from a DUI, possession of drugs, to homicide. Representing those individuals, because it's always in the back of my mind what occurred to me. More importantly, what's very important is to remember we have a Constitution, the United States Constitution, the Florida Constitution, and that affords rights to the individual. It protects the individual. It curtails, takes rights away from the government. It is all individual. The individual finds him or herself under the V. The Constitution is much like a mountain, and I see it as such, with me and the accused on one side and the government on the other side. And the Constitution is the mountain, and I must protect that land. I must protect that mountain, because I'm protecting the rights of not only the accused, not only the individual who's charged with the crime, but I'm protecting all of the rights of all Floridians. Just like I protected land when I was in the United States Army, where I served. It's no different. The passion that I have for individuals charged and arrested who are facing criminal charges, I know that passion like no other lawyer, because I was them. I was in their shoes. I know it's humiliating to be arrested. I know you don't want to come out of your house. I know it's hard to face individuals who you've known all your life and try to explain to them that the stuff that's on TV, the news on TV, the news in the papers is not true. I understand that more or better than anyone else, any other attorney. And that's why I'm so passionate and diligent and effective with the work that I do for those charged with criminal offenses in the Florida state courts and in the federal courts. I've practiced in every county in the state of Florida. I've practiced in the Southern District, which is the federal court, the Southern District of Florida, which is the federal district. I've practiced in the Northern District. I've practiced in Boston, Massachusetts, in a very, very large drug case in the federal courts that originated out of Florida. I practice in every jurisdiction throughout the state of Florida to protect those who are arrested, accused, indicted with criminal offenses.
Well, in a short time listening to you today, Andy, I've got to know you far better than I ever did. You know, the life-changing events, you know, I always believe in silver linings. They were harsh, but you've used that experience, and you're an effective attorney here in South Florida. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about what it means in West Palm Beach and South Florida, you know, practicing criminal defense law.
Absolutely. Florida law is very punitive. What I mean by punitive is the first element is punishment. The second is rehabilitative. So immediately after being arrested, after being indicted, the government, the state of Florida, wants to in fact punish you. They don't want to rehabilitate you. So I want to stand in between the state trying to punish the individual. Anyone, anyone, including the government, could use punishment to harm a person. I tend to believe that my passion and my love for other people is the way to guide them and is the way to protect them and to protect their rights, just like my rights were protected some 15 years ago, just like an attorney believed in me some 15 or 20 years ago. And I think it's really important to have that passion, very important to have that passion. And that passion doesn't come from monetary benefits. That passion comes from deep inside of the heart. And that's what I provide all my clients, so they are not punished here in Palm Beach County and throughout the state of Florida.
Well, you have firsthand experience what it means to go through the criminal courts. I think our audience will understand it once they see this video. If you've been charged with a crime in Palm Beach County, please call defense lawyer Andrew D. Stine at 561-880-4300, or you can visit the firm on the web at www.andrewdstine.com. I want to thank you, Andy, for sharing your experience, your knowledge with the audience today. And
Renee, I want to thank you. I want to thank you also for allowing me to do that.
And again, everyone that made it possible, please tune in a couple of weeks' time when we'll have an interesting new topic on criminal defense here in South Florida. So I invite the audience to come back and see it. And remember, call Stine or do the time. You have a great day, Andy.
Thank you, Renee. Enjoy your day.